Hey everybody, Jeppy here, and today I'm ranking every agent's ultimate voice lines here in Valorant. I made a video like this a long time ago, so there has definitely been a few agents that have been added since then, and I'm doing something totally different for this video. Last time I did just straight up the voice lines, which are cool on their own, but having the sound effects that go along with the ultimate voice lines make it sound like 10 times cooler. Here's an example.
You should run. You should run.
See how the sound effects of the lockdown happening makes Killjoy's ultimate voice line sound so much better than just the voice line on its own? So for today's video, I'm going to rank all the friendly and enemy voice lines for every agent with the added sound effects of their ultimate in game. Let's get into it. Starting us off in D tier, then we'll work all the way up to S tier. The end of the video is going to be Jett.
What's this? Get out of my way.
So here's the thing with Jett, the friendly and enemy voice line that goes along with the ultimate is kind of lame in my opinion, and the sound effects that go along with the blade storm don't really add too much to it anyways. They're just kind of knives flying out. It doesn't really sound very cool. So when you have the friendly and enemy voice lines that are kind of lame, and with the lackluster added sound effects that go along with the ultimate, I'm sure you understand why Jett didn't score high on this list. There are some agents on the list that have, you know, maybe some kind of lame voice lines by themselves, but when you add the sound effects to go along with them, it hypes them up on another level and might bump them up pretty high up on the tier list. But yeah, as for Jett, I'm sorry girl, but you're gonna have to be bottom of D tier. Next up is gonna be Skye.
Seek them out. Found one. I've got your trail.
Also, here's the thing with Skye, I'm not the biggest fan of the voice lines by themselves, and the sound effects that go along with it are kind of at the same time. Seek them out is okay, the ally one. The enemy one is a little more interesting side with I've got your trail. It does feel a little intimidating, but you know, the sound of the squids coming at you isn't exactly cool in my opinion. It does add a little bit to the voice lines, but not enough to really bump it any higher. What do you guys think? The last agent in D tier, then we're moving on to C tier, is gonna be Neon.
Here we go. Hi, I'm pissed.
So the only reason why Neon scored higher than Skye is because I think the sound effects that go along with Neon's ultimate are actually really cool. It actually sounds pretty intense. But of course, the big downfall to you know, Neon's ultimate is just the voice lines kind of aren't very good. Oi, I'm pissed, and here we go. Like, man, that's not really hype. Yeah, Neon herself does sound kind of cool when saying it with a lot of like anger and emotion, but I don't think it's gonna bump up on the list any higher. Those are all the agents in D tier. Now we move it to C tier, and unfortunately guys, I'm gonna get some hate for this, I'm sure, but I have to put Harbor here.
Let's turn the tide. I suggest you move.
I don't know, am I the only one that thought that Harbor's ultimate voice lines are kind of underwhelming? Let's turn the tide. You know, I guess it does kind of sound okay, and you know, the effect that goes with it with the ult is all right, but I don't know, like for some reason guys, I was a little kind of, I don't know, let down with Harbor. Am I like missing the mark here, or are more people out there thinking that like his ultimate voice lines sound really good and the ultimate sounds like sound effects go along with it are really cool? To me, I don't know, I just don't really think they are. Moving on, we have Phoenix.
Come on, let's go. Joke's over. You're dead.
Now, I will say I actually do like the voice lines by themselves, but the added sound effects that go along with the ultimate really don't add too much to it. It's literally just all Phoenix talking, you know, saying his ultimate voice lines. And when you compare those to other agents on the tier list, it's kind of hard for just voice lines and kind of lame sound effects to not really make it that high up. A lot of the agents from here on out have good sound effects with good voice lines, so it's kind of hard for it to go higher. Well, but literally as I say that, Asher's up next, and I don't really like her ultimate voice lines, but the sound effects that go along with that are amazing.
Well divided. You are divided.
So this is how Asher got C tier and above Phoenix. I think her ultimate voice lines by themselves, like the world divided, you are divided, I think those are like D, F tier. But the sound effects that go along with the cosmic divide are like A tier. So it kind of evens out. I put it like a little bit above Phoenix because I think the sound effects are like amazing, but the voice lines are like bad. Last agent in C tier is gonna be Raze.
Here comes the party.
I do think that the ultimate voice lines are all right, in my opinion. It does kind of like, you know, scare me and make me fear for my life, you know, that I know Rey's any second is going to hit me with the, you know, the showstopper. And the sounds that go along with shooting that said showstopper are all right. Like, I guess that's why, you know, she's in C tier, top of C tier, because they're just kind of all right, in my opinion. Feel free to let me know in the comments if you think Rey's deserve better. The first agent in B tier is going to be Yoru.
I'll handle this. I'm back. Who's next?
Now, I'll be the first to say that I think that his voice lines are all right. You know, they're not amazing. They're actually probably somewhat on the weaker side. But the sound of him going into his ultimate, you know, walking around, that sound you hear is the enemy when he's walking around you. And then I think the coolest part about his voice line is when he gets out of his ult and the sound from that. I think that actually sounds really cool. So since the sound effects are pretty awesome, in my opinion, but the voice lines are kind of midish to a little lower, I think a solid B tier is good for Yoru. Up next is going to be the spooky ghost boy, Omen.
Watch them run. Teleport stopped. It is done.
The scatter ultimate voice line is kind of meh in my opinion, but I will say the sound effects that go along with his ult are amazing. I know some people are going to get a little upset that I put Omen kind of this low in the tier list. It's kind of like halfway, but the thing with it, guys, is that there are so many actually amazing voice lines and ultimate sound effects in the game. So literally when I was making this tier list, I had like almost half the agents in S and A tier, so I had to drop some agents where I could, and unfortunately Omen got the short end of the stick. The last agent in B tier is going to be Killjoy.
Initiated. Lockdown destroyed.
You should run.
Now, the last ranking every ultimate voice line video I made, Killjoy actually was one of the worst on the tier list, but I didn't add the sound effects along with it, as you saw with the example at the beginning of the video. So since we are taking in fact the sound effects, you know, Killjoy's got to be at least up there in B tier because, I mean, the lockdown sounds amazing. It's actually up there with one of the coolest sounds in Valorant, in my opinion. So yeah, I hope you guys agree with my pick of Killjoy in B tier. The first agent in A tier is Reyna.
They will cower. The hunt begins.
The only reason why Reyna is here in A tier because the voice lines are really that cool. Unfortunately, there isn't really any major cool, you know, awesome sound effects to go along with Reyna's ultimate, but the voice line, you know, they will cower and the hunt begins. I'm pretty sure I got that right. Along with the voice actors that says it, like, it just sounds awesome. But yeah, there's no real sound effects to go along with it, so bottom of A tier for Reyna. Next up is Sage.
Your duty is not over. You will not kill my allies.
I've always liked Sage's ultimate voice lines. It's just so solid. Not only does she sound cool while saying all this, she has a lot of motion while she's saying it. You know, it does make you like fear and you know get upset that someone you already killed is right back in the fight, even though you like just killed them. And there are some hints of some pretty decent sound effects to go along with the resurrection, you know, her ultimate. So yeah, I think A tier for Sage. I don't think anyone's gonna disagree with me with that one. Next up is Daddy Brimstone.
Open up the sky. Prepare for hellfire.
I mean, of course, this one had to make it into A tier. Not only does it open up the sky and prepare for hellfire, and the way that Brimstone says it, it also sounds really awesome as well. I mean, the orbital strike ultimate is one of the coolest sounding things that can happen in Valorant. Not only does it sound amazing, it looks really cool, and it is very intimidating and scary when you know an enemy Brim is about to ult you when you're trying to defuse a spike. I mean, yeah, solid A tiers all around. I mean, the voice signs, you know, the sound effects are amazing. Up next, we have Breach.
Off your feet!
So Breach made a massive improvement in the rankings from my last video. In the last video, he kind of ranked really low, but in this one, I ranked him all the way up in A tier because the Rolling Thunder sounds amazing. I will say the ally version of his ultimate, Let's Go, that is kind of lame. It's really short. A lot of agents kind of say the whole thing, let's go, here we go, or something like that. but the off your feet one, the way that the voice actor says it, you know, with the echo effect of it being the enemy cast, and then the sound of the rolling thunder barreling towards you, that is easy A tier material for me, man. All right, so the last agent in A tier is gonna be Fade.
There, take them! Marked one. Face your fear!
Now, I will say I wanted to put Fade in S tier, but I already have 5 other agents in S tier, and I didn't want to put 6 whole agents into S tier, so I had to chop an agent out of there, and it had to be Fade. I will say I really do like the voice lines and the sound of the nightmare coming towards you, and then especially if you get hit by it, like the whispering in your ear. Man, it sounds so cool. But honestly, I think the other agents in the video are a little bit step up above Fade, but like, man, I am really still tempted to put her in S tier as I'm making this, but all right, fine, I'll leave her in A tier. I don't know, it sounds so awesome though. All right, I'm sure you guys are gonna be happy about this one, especially all you Cipher mains, because Cipher is here in S tier.
I know exactly where you are. Where is everyone hiding?
The voice actor for Cipher absolutely killed it with these ultimate voice lines because, guys, they sound amazing. And of course, the sound effects that go along with the neural theft, you know, ultimate is really cool as well. Same thing with Brimstone, you know, Raise, you know, when the second you hear that happen, you're like, yeah, God, dude, I gotta move now. I gotta get out of the way. And it is kind of intimidating when you hear the enemy Cipher ultimate. Amazing voice lines, amazing sound effects, going along with Cipher and the intimidation, S tier. Next up, though, is my main Chamber.
They are so dead.
You want to play? Let's play.
Now, I know some people aren't going to put Chamber this high up on the list. This is my one bias pick because I am a dirty Chamber main after all. But to be fair, I actually do think that it sounds pretty awesome. The kind of echo or the, I don't know, the cool effect that they put on Chamber's voice when he says his ultimate, you know, want to play, let's play. Like, it's awesome. And then, of course, the sound of the tour de force shooting. I mean, there's very few things in Valorant that sound cooler than that. I know I really sound weird and nerdy, but obviously you can tell I like Valorant a lot, and yeah, I like Chamber. So yes, of course, S tier for Chamber. Let's move on. Now we're cracking into the top 3. The first agent here is gonna be Viper.
Don't get in my way. Welcome to my world.
There are very few things in Valorant that sound as cool or as intimidating as a Viper Spit. The enemy and even the ally voice line that goes along with using the Viper Spit also adds so much fear and intimidation to it. And of course, it does sound amazing and cool. Also, sound effects, S tier, voice lines, S tier, intimidation, S tier, a complete package, top 3, Viper. At number 2, we have Sova.
I am the hunter. Nowhere to run!
Sova scored really well in the last video, just like this one too. And with the added sound effects option in the rankings, you knew, of course, he was going to be high S tier. In fact, my favorite voice line in the game is the I am the hunter voice line from Sova. I'm sure no one's going to disagree with me that Sova deserves S tier in this video. All right, so I'm sure you guys saw this one coming. The coolest ultimate voice lines along with the sound effects in Valorant is, of course, going to be KO.
No one walks away. You are powerless.
That hit me right in the face. You really do feel powerless when KO pops his null command. Both the enemy and the friendly versions of the voice lines are absolute top S tier for me. So cool, intimidating, you know, especially KO's voice is awesome as well. And you cannot forget about the sound effects that go on with the null command. The combination of all that together is just a literal masterpiece. KO is awesome. Everything KO does is cool, in my opinion. And these ultimate voice lines are no exception. Well, I hope you guys agree with my list. If you didn't, though, feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below and tell me where I messed up. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you have likes, subscribe, notifications if you're new. Now, with all that being said, Jeppy out.